your host for today. A short recap from yesterday for a better understanding on what is actually happening here. Due to the global pandemic, many industries, of course, suffered turbulent times. But from our point of view, education was the industry that suffered the most. In Lithuania alone, 1/3 of the students had impaired results in distance learning. More than 1,000 teachers consider leaving their occupation. At the same time, growing demand towards the digital solutions opened up new horizons for the opportunities. AR, VR are here for a while, but do we even know how to use them? Do we have ready solutions that could be applied even today? Can these solutions be a part of sustainable development future or positive changes in educational technologies? Vilniaus University Business School teamed up with Western Union Lithuania to welcome you to the unique education technology event EdTech Hackathon 2021 to solve these hybrid or blended learning challenges. We're super happy to announce that that our hackathon was joined by 2 more teams. So now we're having 18 teams working on from 13 different locations of the world. These teams, of course, are competing for the 3 winning positions with a prize pool of 6,000 euros. Of course, the best prize is your attention and their chance to continue develop their world-changing ideas. Don't forget to tune in for the final pitches that will be happening on Sunday evening. For more information, you can always check our official website, vuhackathon.lt. One more important thing. Give it up for the people without whom we could not organize such event. I would like to mention each of the companies that are supporting our hackathon. Main sponsor, Western Union Lithuania, Transcom, Guidehouse, City of Vilnius, Vilnius Educational Improvement Center, Sunrise Valley Science and Technology Park, EdTech Lithuania, Startup Lithuania, Vilnius University Tech Hub, and our communication partner, 15minutes.lt. Without the brilliant teams that are working day and night to make a positive impact on education, we're having 4 amazing days of keynote speeches and panel discussions. Without further ado, let's jump on the first keynote of our EdTech week. For everyone who is watching us online, don't forget to comment in the comment section, because with this, we will be able to further investigate the topics that will be presented to you. So, please welcome the first speaker, Saulė Mačiukaitė-Žvinienė, President at National Council of Education, Professor of Innovation at Vilniaus University Business School, with a keynote speech on hybrid learning. Press yes or no for the future of education. Saulė, the floor is yours.
Thank you for giving applause. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once more for EdTech Hackathon 2021 here at Vilniaus University Business School. And let me share today with you some ideas about hybrid learning. Will we press actually yes or no when we speak about the future of education? Let me start from a really well-known quote about that really technologies will not change the best professors and teachers, but technologies in hands of teachers and professors may help us to transform our education system. The pandemic has brought many changes to the world, and for so long it's been difficult to convince ourselves that things will go back to normal. There is no doubt that the pandemic put a massive strain on education system, and especially when we speak about EdTech sector. Let me share some numbers. The global education technology market last year, the size of it was valued actually for more than 150 billion US dollars. And it is expected to witness a compound growth rate even twice till 2025. EdTech solutions are expected to evolve in line with the advances in the latest technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, augmented and virtual reality. Moreover, the integration of blockchain technology is also enabling educators and managements make data-driven decisions. General education segment, in my opinion, and not only mine, but experts as well see it, is accounting for a revenue share of almost a half of the whole market. And it will retain the leading position expanding. The hardware segment also comprises almost more than 40% of the global revenue. The key companies in the EdTech market focus on expanding their customer base, and they gain a competitive edge through various strategic initiatives, partnership, new product technologies development. And actually, I hope that at least some of you will participate, the ones who participate today in EdTech Hackathon here at Vilniaus University Business School, will end up in the list among those global companies. So what is normal? Go back to normal, but do we know what is normal? Is it the blended learning we have right now? Is it the hybrid learning many experts are talking about right now? And many governments around the globe try to integrate this new approach into the education system. Will really hybrid education will become a new normal? Well, what is actually hybrid learning? So it is a method of learning in which learners can attend the class both virtually and in person simultaneously. It is a flexible form of learning. Instructors teach both types of learners at the same time using tools such as video conferencing and learners via learning management system. Here, every institution may have a very individual learning management system. On the other hand, blended learning, well, it is a quite common mode right now during the pandemic situation, as the name suggests, is a blend of physical classroom learning with online course materials. The online material supplements the student's learning experience through different modern e-learning features, including the e-learning platforms. But you know, with every new technology, with every innovative solutions, there are challenges as well. So let me share with you some challenges which come up when we speak about hybrid learning. And maybe some of you during the hackathon will propose some innovative solutions to that. Well, first of all, the increasing use of technology and access to the internet may raise plagiarism and credibility issues. And we see already such issues already on the table in many governments around the globe. Work overburden of teachers and professors. It also might happen, and we also start to feel it a little bit, especially at schools, as it is challenging to design a syllabus that has the perfect combination of face-to-face and online learning. So what we will have to do in the nearest future, and better now than tomorrow, to improve our curriculum. Collaborative assignments can also become unfair when some groups are working together remotely, while other groups are working in the classroom. Remote learners can still face internet connectivity issues and technical difficulties. And finally, keeping learners engaged, especially online ones, throughout the course can be really difficult. At present, both learning approaches, whether we speak about well-known blended learning method or whether we are speaking about raising new approach of hybrid learning are being used in schools and universities right now, in one or another case, will find their ways. And we see that there are disadvantages and advantages in both models, whether we speak about blended learning or whether we speak about hybrid learning. And many companies, educators, professionals right now are working to mitigate those new challenges, especially the disadvantages related or having impact on the quality of education. But despite all those efforts, the only goal, which is right now in the agenda of different governments, different global companies, and even educators themselves, is there is only one goal: education accessible to all. And actually, is hybrid learning is the way out to reach this goal? In my opinion, it really is. Experts believe that the shift in the behavior of teachers and students won't be reversed now. And they see much value in convenience in it. Offline learning will continue to happen, schools, universities, but a hybrid model of learning will be the way forward. And the digital revolution we experienced actually before the COVID in education has been a long time coming, and the pandemic has just accelerated the process. So maybe hybrid first. I vote at least, and I press yes for hybrid first. It is an approach that leverages a hybrid experience to enable continuity of services regardless of physical location, or seamlessly shift between remote and in-person services. So why actually I vote for hybrid first approach and believe more in hybrid learning method than in blended learning method in the future? First of all, continuous disruption in the norm is not an exception. The COVID-19 pandemic was the most significant ongoing disruption education institutions have faced. However, this pandemic will not be the last disruption. Other natural, technical, man-raised, and even business disruptions, such as severe weather events, cybersecurity incidents, even swings in economic activity, will continue to put pressure on education institutions. And to adapt, in case of education institutions, an emphasis on hybrid first will empower institutions regardless of the disruption. Well, second of all, students are demanding better digital learning and experiences and flexibility. After realizing the benefits of remote and hybrid learning, many students and parents are demanding greater access to online and hybrid education programs moving forward. A hybrid-first approach, if I may call it like this, enables institutions to design programs and services so that they can effectively serve the needs what a person wants. When we speak about remote experience or hybrid experience at any point of their learning journey, starting from childhood and ending while being elderly. And third of all, why hybrid first approach? Synergy between education and work has been lost. For decades, a common critique of the general, vocational, higher education system is that they often fail to prepare students for life and work after graduation. In recent years, these critiques have actually ramped up as emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning have increasingly replace human skills and labor. This has resulted in a shift towards lifelong learning. So here again, a hybrid-first approach enables education institutions to serve lifelong learners more effectively. Hybrid-first approach, what is also important to understand, aims to solve the challenges by mapping existing connections between people, processes, and technologies across all touchpoints. Front touchpoints, such as students, parents, social partners of educational institutions, and backend, schools, universities, faculties, academic staff, administration, so users for all types of education experiences or engagement between both parties. But what we should also realize that hybrid education is not only hard infrastructure, and this is actually, at least me personally, what I feel in many countries around the world. When we speak about hybrid education, we mostly speak about technologies, but it is not only that. Before we press yes or no in every country for hybrid education, we actually need to do our homework. And at this phase, in front of new education challenges, while aiming at hybrid education, it's too early to say whether we have it already. It's also too early to say what kind of hybrid education we want and what kind of hybrid education we need. In this case, actually there is also no place for approach one rule fits all. So what is the homework, which in my opinion should be done by different educational institutions, by governments, by EdTech companies, outlining the people, processes and technologies involved at each touch point? What we should determine? First of all, operational bottlenecks. We should also determine outdated paper-based processes. We should clearly define what are the risks of human error in the whole process. We should determine disconnections among different systems, among different apps. And also, we should acknowledge the insufficient use of resources right now. While bringing up such a roadmap of hybrid experience infrastructure, in turn helps to identify opportunities to invest actually in very concrete digital infrastructure. In doing so, as I mentioned before, first of all, education institutions should establish a hybrid experience infrastructure roadmap by mapping out the steps, processes, and technologies involved. And this could, in my opinion, help them to identify where improvements can streamline their engagement and integration of hybrid-first approach. However, the whole process is not the only homework which should be done. Capabilities. Implementation capabilities. Here, it is very important to identify quick win opportunities to implement hybrid-first approach. Some of these changes will be simple. For example, no more arrangements for meetings between a student and a teacher via email. Others might be more complex. For example, tackling with different socioeconomic status of students. By identifying quick win solutions to serve as test cases for hybrid-first approach, institutions can build up the experience they need to tackle later when meeting a more complicated challenges. Second of all, while talking about implementation capabilities, we need to focus on high-value engagement. that could help us to improve students, parents, and social partners' experiences. While quick wins are essential, it is also critical that institutions focus on high values engagement that are important, especially for students. We need to find the ways to address the problem in order to ensure the student success. And finally, we need continuously evaluate the whole hybrid first processes and make iterative improvements referring to capabilities. It is natural for education managers to want to make on-time improvements to processes and address all problems associated with an existing engagement. However, it might be difficult to account for all problems that might exist today. And it can be even more challenging to anticipate what new challenges may emerge when changes are made. So we need to focus on the minimum viable product when initially making actually hybrid first adjustments, and then continuously evaluate those processes and make improvements over time. Even after doing our homework at both, especially institutional level, and later on at national level, or both simultaneously at institutional and national level, and even individual level, we should never forget that hybrid education or hybrid first approach will differ. It will differ when we speak about education levels, whether we speak about school, college, university, vocational education institution. It will differ among the countries. The hybrid first approach will definitely be differently implemented in such countries as Germany, USA, and it will definitely has a totally different angle in some African countries or Asian countries. Also, the hybrid education will be differently integrated when we speak about formal and non-formal education. When we speak about different ages of learners, whether it is a child of 7 years old or whether it is a grown-up of 55 or more. And also the socioeconomic status will matter. It will matter from what kind of economic possibilities a student has to achieve educational goals. It will also matter what kind of physical or health disabilities a student may have. And definitely, hybrid education, I press yes for hybrid education. I press yes for hybrid first approach. But now you decide whether you press yes or no. I wish you actually, when you will decide to press yes or no, I press yes. And now I wish you all good luck in the hackathon. Let actually the best one day become global companies. And I give the floor back to our fantastic moderator of EdTech Hackathon at Vilniaus University Business School. And once more, I wish you all good luck. And I say thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Saulė, for a really interesting insights on the hybrid learning. And let's move on to our next keynote speech. And up next, please welcome on our virtual stage, Dovilė Juškevičienė, lead of internship program at Western Union Lithuania, to share her ideas on reinforced hybrid internships, the good and the ugly. Dovilė, hello. How's the day today?
Hello, everyone. Actually, it's good, even though I'm a bit nervous, but everything is fine today.
What is the worst thing that can happen? Could we discuss this?
The worst thing what can happen is that technology will broke, or and you will not hear me. So I guess that's the worst thing that might happen.
Well, if it helps, I can tell you that I will be next to you at all times, and I do have some jokes prepared in case something goes wrong. So you have my backup, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So hello, everyone, again. My name is Dovilė, and I am a manager in Western Union company. So despite my daily job of managing 2 teams, I am also leading the internship program here in Western Union, Lithuania, in our office in Vilnius. So today I'm going to share our experience. What was it like to build a remote internship program? Main challenges, main benefits. So for the start, I will share with you a video where you will have a glance to see what is internship program in our company and how our interns are feeling.
Hello, my name is Juozas. I'm currently working at Western Union Lithuania as an intern at Administration and Communication team. Today we're going to take a closer look at what internship at Western Union means. There is a tenacious stereotype of interns being able only to do paperwork and bring coffee to their supervisors. However, Western Union Lithuania offers the real job experience, meaning that once you join us, your tasks will be oriented around your hard peers' assignments. And of course, instead of making coffee for others, I do it for myself. Appreciating employees' talents and efforts, as well as respect, are the main foundations of Western Union work culture. This is complemented by the sheer amount of educational activities and trainings that are offered to the employees. As an intern, you also get the opportunity to gain benefits from these activities, since the Western Union internship is based on 70-20-10 principle. This means that 70% of your time spent at the internship will consist of day-to-day tasks. The other 20% will be appointed to your internship project, and the last 10% are dedicated to your various trainings. And I do not mean running on a treadmill types of exercises, of course. I mean trainings like LinkedIn profile management, as well as emotional intelligence development. These are just a couple of examples of activities that I was able to participate in the last couple of months.
I chose Europe because I've always wanted to be the part of something big, of some big company.
As I can see from my other intern, they are also really excited to start their first international experience here.
Western Union is very famous, and even if in Turkey it's very famous, and I want to get experience from Western Union. So Europe was one of the best choice for me, so that's why I chose Europe.
So the real question is, if you're looking for a near-perfect internship experience, what are you waiting for? Join us and let's be as big as the world.
So now I hope you have a bit of understanding what is it like to be an intern in our company. As you saw in the video, we started in the internship program in 2012. So within these years, we managed to build a really interesting program that attracts a lot of interns every year. Usually per year, we have 60, 70 interns doing their internship, and they are usually divided into a couple of different sessions, spring or summer. So interns not only have possibilities to have real work experience, but participate in various trainings, work on project assignment, expand their network, meet leadership team, and of course, the most important, have fun. Of course, I'm not building the internship program alone. In our company, we have a dedicated internship committee that consists of Western Union employees from different departments who are basically looking to do something extra in their daily jobs. And at the same time, learn something new, share their experience, knowledge, and guidance with those who are just starting their career path. It is like a after-school activity where kids go and learn something new. So instead of going after work, we participate in internship committee, and we do all the program during our working hours. Some of the committee members are our former interns who are now working in the company, so they definitely understand what the student needs are. Participation in committee is totally volunteering. So I'll be honest, to lead a committee that participation in it is only volunteering, it's actually a challenging thing, but at the same time, when you believe in what you are doing, when you feel passionate for it, everything is manageable. You just need to divide priorities, have a team that shares the same values and the same ideas, and everything is possible. So last year, when pandemic started, we were in the middle of one of our sessions with 23 interns. So when we just basically had to change and to go and work online, to leave the office and to go to work from home, basically within one day when the situation changed, it was not easy for us. I guess it was not easy for everyone else. So we were in this tough situation where we had to cancel some of activities that were still planned and were left because they had to be done live. Then because we were not obviously ready, the company was not ready just to move everything online. We were lacking some equipment, and we had to take this equipment from our interns and to give it to the employees. So some of the interns said, okay, we do not want to continue doing the internship online, and they said that maybe we will rejoin the internship later in all the programs, and we agreed with that. Some interns continued and worked in the company, and was really huge help for the teams. And for some interns, we said, okay, we have a job opportunity for you, so please, instead of staying as an intern, please join our company as a full-time employee. So during that time, for us, it was very important to keep connection with our interns, and just for them to understand how we are doing, what is the situation, and later on, then the situation will be better, that they could come back and do the internship in other sessions. So with that, we decided to issue and send a newsletter to our alumni, and this way it helps us to keep those our former interns engaged. When we started planning next sessions, we thought that okay, we can go do the internship session in summer, and we thought that the program that we had before pandemic, we can just simply continue with that. But due to all the restrictions and the situation in Lithuania, reality was different. So we understood that we cannot keep the same program format. We need to move everything online, not only to move everything online, but just also do it interesting, that interns would gain the same experience basically as they gained before pandemic. So at first, we were a bit afraid that no one will be interested to do online internship or remote internship. But actually, we were really surprised because we received so many applicants. Basically, the same applicants came as, the internship was happening live. Even internship was remote. We could not hire or offer internship for students that are not basically studying in Lithuania or were not located in Lithuania at that time. But we could offer internship and expand our internship to different cities like Kaunas, like Klaipėda, Šiauliai, where basically previously students who were studying in those cities had a very limited opportunity and chance to join our internship program. So for us, actually, it went very well because we increased our brand awareness and attracted more candidates from different cities. So far, we had 3 remote internship sessions, and here I just highlighted the feedback that we usually received after each session. So as you can see, interns still have amazing experience. They learn a lot, and the feedback from them is really good. Obviously, when we moved to online internship and when we had to do everything online, we faced some challenges that we did not face before when we went online. So one of the biggest challenges was to build a connection with the interns, with the people that you work with. It is very hard, to be sitting in front of the box, not feeling what that other person is feeling when you are talking. And basically, sometimes you are hosting some trainings or you participate in some meetings. No one has the cameras on. So basically, you are just thinking, okay, I'm sitting alone here and I'm just talking with myself and just watching my own reaction in the box, basically. To keep the connection, actually, it is one of the biggest challenge that we face while we are working online. Of course, engagement of interns, of employees also is not that big in some activities, and just maybe people are not willing to do some extra stuff. So this was also one of the challenges, as well as expectations. We noticed that when we moved to online internship, some interns think that, okay, I will join this online internship. I will maybe have fun, maybe we'll learn something new. But when we said, okay, but you will also have to do some job, to feel this real work experience. And then I said, oh, I do not want to do it. I just came here to have fun. So these all challenges, that we were facing, we said, okay, we need to think about something, to do something. Obviously, the situation in Lithuania was not good. So, but in this summer, actually, when we were allowed basically to meet in public, we were allowed to go out and just to have various meetings. We said, okay, we need to combine those challenges that we have, and we need to combine online internship and just to at least have a meeting and meet our interns, just to have a better, understanding how they're feeling, what are their emotions, and just to network and to build connections. So I guess I do not need to explain how the meetings went, and just all those smiling faces explain it all. So honestly, I can say that after those meetings that we have live with interns, some interns went and worked from our offices and it did their internship there. So it worked for us really, really well. The engagement after we met live went up like even more than 100%. they started to share online how their day went, what experience they have, how their internship going, the connection between interns. It became really much better. So now we are in the middle of starting planning our new sessions that will start next year, and definitely we see that to have the program that is only in the office or only remote program, it's not the way that we want to go, because even online we had really good activities that basically worked for us online, and probably if we would be sitting in the office, they would not work that well. For example, shadowing sessions, where employees had an opportunity to see different departments, what these departments are doing, and just to better understand and know the company. So basically, if you would be sitting by a computer and on your back, there would be around 30 people watching your screen. Probably they would not see anything, would not hear anything, and this activity would not go well. But then you are online, when you are sharing your screen and everyone can watch you are doing, it worked for us really well. Also, various calls with other program interns. So this summer, at the same time, our Denver headquarters were also having internship. So we managed to organize a call with our interns and with Denver interns. Interns from Denver, they logged in from different basically states around the US. And it was really, really great to share our experience, to hear their stories, to play some games, and just to listen what they are doing, what they are working. So switching to hybrid program is our actually goal. So if we will manage to combine both, we will definitely have even a successful program as we had before. So when we are talking of the learnings and the advice that what we got, my main advice would be don't be afraid to think outside the box and look into various opportunities and tough situations as a learning thing. I will share one story that recently I had a meeting with one director of the company who is actually a bit older than me, 25 years older. And I was talking and just sharing that I will be participating in this conference and sharing about our program. And he said, if not pandemic, I would have never learned to use Zoom. I would have never learned to use Teams. I would not have never even considered an opportunity to work from home and also have ability to see my team and to see what my team is doing. So now I am so happy, even though the beginning was actually tough to learn those things. But now I feel so happy because one day I can go in the office and be, with my team in the office. The next day I can come back home and I can log in and just have meetings via Zoom and have the same experience. So my advice would be, don't be afraid to take risk, learn something new, and no matter how tough the situation is, look at this as a learning opportunity and see what you can make out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dovilė, for sharing your ideas on this. We do have some questions from the people that are watching us. So allow me to pick up the few of them and direct them to you, of course. First question, is it only in Lithuania and Western Union, or it is in general policy in Western Union everywhere, the internship policy?
So basically, we have now four sites in Western Union that have internship. Obviously, the program differs a little bit. So we have in Lithuania, we have in US, we have in Costa Rica, and we have in.
Oh my God! I went to Costa Rica. Can I go there?
Of course you can. You can apply for sure. You can apply to this program. They will be very happy to have you.
Okay, understood. I see another very interesting question, and I personally also have some feelings towards it. How does the interns feel about don't experiencing the office environment? And I believe what they want to ask here is like just, we all are human beings. We really need to touch and to communicate. This is how the empathy works. And the person is asking, how do you supplement it by any remote activities?
So basically, when the situation was good, our interns were allowed to go and work from the office and feel this atmosphere. But also, we had basically various activities planned. Obviously, you could not drink coffee from our coffee machines that are in the office, and it's actually amazing. But you can do your own coffee, right? And have a meeting with one of our leaders where he is drinking coffee and just have a conversation with him. So we did those activities, like morning coffee session with the leader, and you join, everyone is just relaxed in the morning, drinking coffee. Leader is talking about his experience, answering the questions from the interns, and just, everyone is having a good time.
Yeah, and I totally support you on this, because it is not very popular thing to say, but I do think like at the point when we actually became okay with having someone sitting at the screen, let's just think about the opportunities that it brings to us. You can basically work in any company from any place of the world. It just blows my mind. Okay, we do have more questions, so I'll pick up a few of them more. So I see another person is asking, what is the main focus of your internship program? So what are the main goals?
The main goals is that those who did not have a work experience and did not feel the work environment could join the program and basically would have this opportunity to feel it. Because why we divide the program into 70, 20, 10% principle? Because you need to feel what our own employees are feeling, and we are treating interns as our own employees. Also, our employees participate in various trainings as well for their learning, so interns have the same opportunity. And also, building a network and to work in a team as well is important. That's why all interns usually are assigned to some project assignment that they have a possibility to work as well. So basically, just for the main purpose is just that you would gain experience and learn something new. And at the same time, we are also learning each time when we have interns. I learn something new from every session.
Amazing. Also, you did mention in one of your answers about the coffee that you have, that is very good in your office. And I wanted to ask, so how do you solve the question with having a proper beer night? And I see a very similar question just arrived. How home distractions for remote work? How much do you tolerate? Maybe at Western Union, you're sending the PlayStations, maybe you make an exchange of Netflix accounts. So how much do you tolerate this?
I guess now everyone understands, that when you are working at home, everything can happen, right? So, we have online team building activities. We have online games. We do, for example, last week we had even a pumpkin carving activity where basically we had pumpkins and we were all doing those carving, and then on Halloween we really had a nice pumpkin done. So a company tried to involve all the employees with really interesting and various activities that we could participate and be involved.
Okay, got it. And for a wrap-up, Dovilė, what would be your one piece of advice for 18 amazing and brilliant teams that are working now in this hackathon? What would you like to tell them?
My main advice, just believe in what you're doing, be passionate, and don't be afraid to take risk, because, as I mentioned, we learn the most in the toughest situation. So don't be afraid to take risk and to learn something new.
Absolutely. Comfort doesn't give you any good thing. It's just comfort. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dovilė Juškevičienė, lead of internship program at Western Union, Lithuania. Dovilė, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So everyone, let's move on to our third keynote speech. And now I'd like to invite on our virtual stage, Unė Kaunaitė, director at Vilniaus Educational Improvement Center, with a speech on Vilnius as an open school, Mission Impossible. Hello, Unė. How are you doing today?
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me. Enjoying the talks.
Well, it's our absolute pleasure to have you here. And I think it's time for the virtual stage to become yours.
Thank you again. And I'm going to talk about Vilnius as an open school, whether that's mission possible or impossible. And I hope that the answer is possible. We will talk, as Vilnius, we will talk not so much about our experiences that we already had, but our future plans. And before starting, I want to quickly say a couple of words about Vilnius Educational Improvement Center. We are, first of all, we're part of Vilnius municipality. We work with all schools in Vilnius. We seek to improve the quality of education, and we bring education innovations, as well as work with teachers. We support school communities. We work with school leadership, and many other things, but I think education innovations are at the most important thing for today's talk. And I want to start by showing one very interesting, in my understanding, poll, which was made in the United States. But sadly, I believe that we wouldn't see different results in Europe. And these results, this is questionnaire for students, they very clearly show that engagement of students decrease when they get older and decrease significantly. From my own empirical experiences, I usually see that primary school kids are very excited to go to school. And when they go older, usually from like 5th grade, it's rarer and rarer for a student to say that they actually are excited to go to school or that they like going to school. And I believe that this is something that we really need to address, and that anyone who works close to the school or that have children or in any way is related to education should really think about this and what it means. And for us in Vilnius, well, first of all, we think about that motivation is directly linked to learning achievements. So when we talk that we want to improve learning achievements and what students learn at school, we have to think about motivation, because we can't improve achievements without improving how children and the students are engaged in school. Second of all, we talk about that we at the moment have forms of learning that are more focused on transfer of knowledge rather than competencies that are actually very important in 21st century, such as creativity, resilience, collaboration, and so on. And of course, now we are facing curriculum changes and talking more about competencies, but this is a long road, and we really need to talk about more how to actually teach competencies rather than just knowledge at school, because it also demotivates students. And we go back to the first point. Second of all, we also see that in national results, in PISA, for example, progress by Lithuanian students is lower than their peers. And finally, we also have a very specific issue in Vilnius, which is quite unique in terms of Lithuania. We have overcrowded schools, which is positive in a sense that we have more and more students coming in, but it is quite stressful for a school to make sure that it's actually comfortable being in school and fitting everyone in. So having all of these problems, as well as pandemic hitting in and also forcing us to think how we're going to learn in the future and what we have learned from online learning, we as Vilnius Municipality and Vilnius Educational Improvement Center saw our vision to turn Vilnius in open learning space. That is to offer blended learning, and in this case we use blended learning probably not in the same way as many speakers use today, because then we just talk about online and in-face learning, but we search for a word, maybe someone else will suggest something else. At the moment we talk about blended learning, and we talk about traditional learning that is in the classroom that we normally think about when we think about learning, plus learning outside the classroom, inside and using city resources, that is museums, parks. But when we talk about city resources, we not only talk about what, I don't know, is owned by municipality, we talk about everyone which is in the city, whether it's private, whether it's public, everyone is part of the city, and we want to involve them inside our learning practices. And this should also go together with what we learned through online and through pandemic, that is also blending it together with online learning, where students can learn, for example, at home or together with other students in other areas. So we want to give blended learning scenarios and library of lessons to teachers, and give access for schools to all possible city spaces that we can actually invite and encourage to use, and also give resources and online tools that could facilitate this. Evidence shows that students who use active learning practices outperforms those who do not, and we hope that this kind of model of learning could actually improve students' learning. It's not only that we're talking about this, we have already started this as a pilot. Vilnius has suggested this idea as the Bloomberg City Challenge, so that was when it started. But either way, while we're waiting for results and see if among other 50 different cities around the world, including Auckland, New Orleans, London, Paris, and many others, we are also competing to win with our idea. But either way, whether we win it or not, we're still going forward with this idea. And we have already piloted this thought of going out of the classroom with 5 schools in Vilnius. And you can see a picture of Martynas Mažvydas school and their 7th graders who went and integrated math, geography, and their second language in the project for drinking water in the city. And they collaborated with the Vilniaus Vandenys to actually hear about what kind of water Vilnius city uses, how it is cleaned, how many drinking spots there are, and so on. And that was first day of their learning. And then they were also formed into groups, and different groups were given different tasks to count different things, such as geographical locations, or drew route maps to present types of underground water supplies, and so on. So this is just one of the examples how lessons can look like. And of course, we had many, many more students going outside of their classrooms, and we're very excited about this. And of course, we are very sure that so many teachers, if any are listening at the moment, are looking at this and thinking, we also do this. We also go out of our classroom, but we really want to push this further and more. So when we speak about how much, we are now talking about going forward to 10% of school time, which is very ambitious, but that of course doesn't happen overnight. It happens over years. And we hope to give lesson plans that would also be much more based on project-based, phenomenon-based, inquiry-based learning methods that would help students to actually explore real-life problems and see why they're learning some of the things. And most importantly, we also hope that those problems will be related to the city, that students would become active citizens of the city and would actively be involved into solving problems inside the city. We hope to provide online platform with easy-to-use scenarios and integrated lessons, which would be constantly updated. And we will also support teacher competences through training, because of course this is also very important in order to move forward and to help teachers. Because of course it's very hard in the beginning. You have to build lesson plans, you have to think of ways of how to do this, but over some time that you would start to bring more and more lessons and share them with other teachers, this will be easier and easier. We see this as a model where school provides stability in a sense that we always know how it used to be in school. It provides connections, and I think pandemic really showed us that school is about connections, about relations. It also provides tools. This type of blended learning provides flexibility because teachers can choose different forms, not only classroom learning that we're used to, but also online learning that we learned recently, and learning outside the classroom, inside the city. And city creates experiences and connections. What we already see from students who were involved in the pilot, it's actually very exciting because 90% of students are very supportive. Their reactions are very positive. Almost 80% say that lessons in urban spaces are more interesting. And about half of them say that this allows them learning multiple things at the time. Of course, we see challenges, for example, that at the moment, because it's so rare, students usually don't see these type of lessons as part of curriculum. They think that, oh, this is something extra, this is something fun, but it's not part of everyday lessons. So we hope that by, first of all, helping to create lessons that are actually integrated inside curriculum, that are not some kind of extra thing, and also by increasing the number of these kind of lessons, this will become more normal and will be seen as part of curriculum. We also understand that in the beginning, it is extra burden for teachers, but we also hope to work with this to help teachers. But we're really excited about how students feel about this and how motivated they are about this type of learning. So we hope to be able to bring it more and more. Why it is important? Well, first of all, as I said, it prioritizes creativity, curiosity, and engagement, and other skills that we actually want students to learn. I think it's also a very big shift to understand that school is no longer the sole education space, and that instead it actually connects different types of learning places. And other entities being involved in the process, we actually hope that this will raise confidence in education system. Because quite often what we see is that people only remember how they were learning at school 20, 30, 40 years ago, and they don't actually see how the schools looks at the moment today. So we hope that by bringing students to them, to different organizations inside the city, we will bring closer contact between the school and other places, and hopefully raise confidence in the system. We also, of course, hope to improve quality through improving motivation, first of all, of students. We also believe that by showing what happens inside the city, by going to different institutions, students will see different career paths and will be able to choose their career paths better. And one of the most important things, at least for me, that it looks like, it should change the view of the city. If we talk about how historically, for example, psychologists, sociologists, anthropologists talk about city, we often talk about loneliness in the city. We see this image that you also see on the screen with one lonely person inside the crowd, that even though we're more and more around the people, we feel more and more lonely, connected with others. So we actually think that this could be a change in this view, because Vilnius can connect people and cities can connect people through different ways of how we interact with the city. So we hope to also nurture social activism and responsibility, because at the moment our youth don't participate in democratic life to the extent that they should, and our numbers are among the bottom of the EU. And we hope to give a platform and to actively encourage volunteering in different institutions. And by this also involve children and students into city life so that they would become active citizens of Vilnius. So this is our small steps taking towards the view that Vilnius can become an open school. And we believe that this is mission possible. So I say thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Unė. While my team is checking for the questions, I do have my own question to you. And from what you were showing in your presentation, it actually got me to think we do have very inspiring and very uniquely talented teachers across Lithuania. And just the thought of having their lessons broadcasted or streamed to so many kids and inspiring them blows my mind. What do you think? Would it be actually possible to make it a very standard practice for the schools to have at least one or 3 lessons a week where we would be showcasing someone very special? Could that work?
Well, I think it's very important to move towards that. To be frank, our culture, it's quite different because many countries in the world, and especially those countries that have very respectable education systems and those that other countries are looking for, really do practice a lot of other teacher looking to other teachers' lessons, and then also showcasing their classrooms. So I think it's a long way to change the culture and to understand that showing your lesson is not to be judged, but actually to help others and to inspire others. But I'm sure that we have to move towards that, and that would be a very positive change for our educational system.
That's a very interesting angle you brought here. You want to say like there are teachers that don't want to show their lessons? Because from my point of view, if you're a superstar teacher, there's like absolutely no limits for the amount of the kids that should be able to access it. And in this case, we would only win. So why do we even see problems here?
Well, I think it's also historical, but I don't want to say that all of the teachers. We have really amazing teachers that are very happy to share their knowledge, and they already share their knowledge. But I think in general, we're still learning to understand that showcasing their knowledge is actually helping others, and that's very beneficial. So I think it's just probably historical reasons, but I actually believe they are changing.
Okay. Do you also think that the technological solution, whereas we would be sharing, for example, mathematics or chemistry, could also help us solve the problems with regional schools, where they have a very huge lack of some specific teachers, and it doesn't seem that it is possible to solve it in an easy way?
Definitely. And it is actually discussed. And that was also one of the things that pandemic brought us, understanding that you can actually learn through online learning. And in the schools that don't have specific teachers, these could be broadcasted. And especially this could be broadcasted not by just any teacher, but like one of the best teachers in Lithuania. So I know for sure that it's also discussed in, for example, Ministry of Education and Science and Sports. And it's something we need to also work as one of the ways to teach. But of course, we also see from pandemic that learning is not only transfer of knowledge, as I spoke, it's also connection. So we can't just think that we will change teaching only to online learning. We have to think of those blended ways of learning.
Okay, understood. Okay, and for the very end, Unė, what would be your one piece of advice for the hackathon participants that are building the amazing solutions now as we speak?
Well, I guess seek for impossible. And if someone will tell you that it is impossible, then probably you're really looking very forward in the future. And that's the way we have to go. So be brave.
And if you have any issues with having a very big picture, you can always approach me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on any other messaging system, right, Unė?
For sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. That was Unė Kaunaitė, Director at Vilnius Educational Improvement Center. Okay, let's move on to our next presenter, and I'd like to proudly present and invite on our virtual stage Rimantas Juknys, online training manager at Agent Learning Technology team in Western Union, Lithuania, with a keynote speech on Inside the Toolbox of Hybrid and Blended Learning. Rimantas, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for being here and giving opportunity to present. So let's move on. My presentation is mostly concentrated on actually already mentioned items in these sessions by Saulė about online learning, about blending and blended and hybrid learning, and what's behind that curtain. So as my team's title says, Agent Learning Technology. Main tools that I will be talking about will be related to learning management systems and learning record store. And maybe this will sparkle some of the ideas to our audience down the line. So hybrid and blended learning was already covered by Saulė quite well. So just a quick reminder on that one. So when we have a blended learning in mind, it's just a combination of in-person training plus additional online activities or offline activities after the actual classes. With hybrid learning, we have a different challenge on making sure that we can teach students in person and remote students on the other side of the screen in there. And both of those different learning types present their own challenges, and most of those challenges can actually be helped with the help of online training or the system itself, learning management system, sort as an LMS. So what is LMS, what it's used for? And it's in short, it's just a content management system that helps to administer, track, report, document the training, deploy different educational courses and programs. And the biggest benefits of having the learning management system implemented in the first place is an easy way to organize all kinds of learning into one place. So give it its e-learning, give it video, PDFs, tests, virtual sessions, even the ones that you presented face-to-face, they can be recorded, placed into one place. Going with the types of trainings, even the tests, at least from my side, I see it as the biggest benefit of having the LMS in place, which helps you automate grading of the tests and so on, and with different approaches, make them even more engaging than just usual paper methods. Another big benefit of having the having LMS is it's easy to assign that whole learning that you have under your belt, and it's easy to track. So I'm talking not only about having the some kind of online training assignments, but also controlling the whole calendar, whole events, scheduling in one place, and so on. And another one, the biggest advantage is the reach, right? With LMS, with online training, you can reach a bigger audience. You can reach them when it's convenient to them, and no matter which method you're using, hybrid or blended, it's very beneficial in those cases. And it actually reminds me of one of the aspects of the whole quarantine starts in Lithuania, when everybody the school started using the remote training approaches, and there was a lot of different tools by different teachers being used to organize these sessions, share the information, and so on. In some cases, even kids' parents were how to say, unable to understand quickly what is where and how to access the information. So one of the biggest hurdles could be solved with having the learning management system in place. And to even help teachers out with some of the learning systems, even have like built-in tools, authoring tools to make the content even more engaging. But you don't necessarily need to start big, and include gamification in all those things. So it's always nice to get some kind of a badge of reward for the work you've done, whether it's in a face-to-face class or it was done something outside your school hours in the evening or so. When talking about the LMS systems, one of the, I just wanted to share a quick success story of Wagent Academy. So this is the LMS for Western Union agents across the globe. And currently we are covering more than 120 countries, more than 40 languages, and planning to include more in the coming years. We already have more than 500,000 users on site and having more than 600 course completions a day. And this is all managed by a team of 8. And when I'm talking about the team of 8, it spans from people supporting the learners, supporting the teachers, the designers, and supporting and administrating the whole LMS system in this case. And one of the, well, not one of them, but the main 3 aspects that helped us to get there are related to not, let's say, technological perspective, but some other ways of it. So hopefully they will be helpful in your journey as well. And one of them is stepping into learner's shoes. This is just an adaptation from what we are used to in Western Union. We call it stepping into the customer's shoes. It's not always easy, but it helps to know your audience in this case, so that the solution that and the results you want to get for your specific audience, it just makes it clearer for you to see or to see the pitfalls. For in our case, 2 main challenges in this case was language and simplifying user interface enough to make it fast and acceptable in all the different countries, in all the different cultures that we serve our training in. Another huge aspect is having a diverse team inside. Sometimes it's I would say it's not mentioned enough, but sometimes it's seen as bad habit that, okay, so we have different people, we have a lot of conversation and different opinions, but at the end it really helps to kind of put everything together and see it from all the angles. So it definitely ensures the success of your LMS implementation in this case. And one suggestion here is just to be open for the feedback. It can come in many different ways, and especially when we're talking about the internal feedback. Just there's no bad feedback. There's always something that you can spot, that you can make an improvement of. So when it comes to the teachers, learning institutions, you already have a team. You have a lot of people working there. Just get together and go for one goal. And another point of success was just finding the right LMS platform. We went through a couple of them and settled down on Totara LMS platform, which is Moodle based, and it's very, very learner oriented. It has a very flexible tools and interface and unprecedented language support. I would say by any current LMS standards in there, because as you see, we have more than 40 languages, not even most expensive ones. supports that. So that's definitely one of the things to consider when it comes to the LMS implementations. So just a quick note on that one. And where do you start? As mentioned, this is my presentation is oriented to the people that want to start there. They want to kind of get more ideas. So my recommendations on that one is just go to moodle.com. It's very friendly system, and they even have a demo site where you can try each different roles of the system without even installing it anywhere or having the huge implementation project in the first place. You can be a teacher, you can be a learner, just try it out and see if it works for you. I know that Moodle system is also used in many of the higher education institutions here in Lithuania already. So maybe for somebody it will be useful as well. And if you need even bigger helping hand, there's a EdTech consortium that cooperates with high education institutions to support online studies and remote learning as well. So there's always an opportunity to cooperate with them if you need more help. And there's a ton of other different LMSs. This one just I think is the most user-friendly and the good way to start your journey. And the second part of the presentation. So what if something's not there yet? You have an LMS, you have all these hybrid learning, blended learning programs, and you kind of missing some piece of, I don't know, technology that would fill the gaps and make it really shine. Did you ever thought about having a transparent learning, so that the learning without knowing you're learning, you just get the knowledge, you just somehow get it? And what if you want to jump into micro learning train and not having your learners always logging into LMS to do their stuff? Here comes the learning record store into help. So this is the project that initially he had to replace the older SCORM version of e-learning communication. And this has turned out to be way bigger, and it's now kind of connects all the dots into one place. So even if you don't have LMS, you can efficiently track what experiences the learner has anywhere in your ecosystem, right? Is it web page? Is it simulator? Is it a game, some kind that you created? It all can go into one place in LRS, learner record store, and from there, it's really easy to get reports, analytics, and even use that in LMS again to kind of create dynamic paths and dynamic training assignments in there. So this one is a bit more advanced level, and you definitely need some coding, or you need good partners to partner there. But this is the thing that could fill the gaps that you're feeling might be there in your current training program. A quick example on this one would be, you don't go into LMS for a short note or a short suggestion from somewhere. You just saw something on the site, on the internet site. You clicked it, you read it for 5 minutes, and that's enough. You did something, and LRS knows that you did that, and it somehow can be reflected in the LMS on that side. As soon as presented the case of people going around the city using the city objects in there, LRS could be used there too to kind of gather those geographical coordinates and so on, or just scanning a QR code, and you know that the person was there. They did this activity and so on. So this is just a couple of quick examples of this one. And at the very end, just a quick bonus tips. It's not as much of my expertise, but just something that I got to know do along the way. During the hybrid learning sessions, when you have live audience and you have face-to-face, when you have the remote people attending that one, first one, don't be afraid to have to ask for assistance, right? To give a student some additional responsibilities, and they feel way more engaged into the sessions. For example, if you have a remote people group, just that assistance could be just gathering the questions and reading them out loud in the classroom for everybody to hear. Another one, quick one, would be to collaborate, to kind of promote collaboration in groups. And guess what? When you have face-to-face and you have remote people, you already have 2 groups, so you don't even need to do much else. Just give them something to do. And of course, all the latest video conferencing software already has some features built in to allow for break rooms and so on. So this is one thing that might help you out. And of course, the third one, just feel the engagement levels rise on this. And that's where I stop my presentation. And thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you so much, Rimantas. We do have a few questions, and I'd like to also make them a bit louder from the Facebook channel. What would be your 3 top choice tools for remote teamwork for students?
3 top tools?
If you know 5, we can accept 5.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I would go with having the LMS first to help that out, and of course you would need to integrate with Zoom. So that's 2 tools to go with that. And if you need additional collaboration live, I would not like to kind of stretch it out outside the LMS, because some of the LMSs might have the integrations, but it would be something to have, like a Microsoft Teams, where you can chat more freely. But most of the LMSs already have this functionality.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but if we speak about true collaboration and brainstorming, etc., so what would be the tools you would actually advise to use? For example, I've been working with one project. They were using Miro, if I'm correct. It's it works like an online collaborative flip chart that you can basically draw anything you want, and it actually worked out pretty well. Do you know any similar or maybe even more advanced solutions that could be also applied if, for example, we want to brainstorm as a team?
Lucidchat works very well on these kind of collaborations, where you can draw figures and put everything in place together. So maybe that would be a recommendation as well to try out.
Okay, and maybe as for all other speakers, I would also like to ask you, what would be your one piece of advice for all the participants of our hackathon? We have 18 amazing teams working as we speak.
I would say it in 3 kind of phrases. Think outside the box, be passionate, and have plan B.
Okay, plan B. That's something new. Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rimantas Juknys, online training manager at Agent Learning Technology team in Western Union, Lithuania. Rimantas, thank you for your insights and good luck.
Thank you very much.
And now, dear everyone, the first part of our EdTech week has reached the end. Now we will be having a short break, and let's come back at 6 p.m. Eastern European time. We will have 4 more amazing and insightful keynote speakers. Stay tuned and don't run away.